Hello again, this is my second video about PCOS. I finished my last video saying I had a naturopath and a gynecologist appointment. I ended up cancelling the gynecologist appointment. I'll talk about that a little bit later. In this video, I want to share everything that I've learnt since visiting Hayley, my naturopath. She's already taught me so much, it's crazy. So the first thing that I've learnt is that there's actually 4 different types of PCOS. So it's even more complex than I first thought. There is insulin-resistant PCOS, which is the most common. It means that your insulin and your leptin levels are too high, so that's preventing or delaying ovulation. As well, having those high insulin levels stimulates your ovaries to create and release testosterone. So that's when the excessive hair growth, the weight gain, the acne, when all that comes into play. The second is inflammatory PCOS. That can be caused by stress, environmental toxins, inflammatory foods as well, like gluten. The third is hidden cause PCOS. This can be because of a zinc deficiency, too much soy in your diet, or also thyroid disease. And then lastly is post-pill or pill-induced PCOS. So we all know that the pill suppresses ovulation, hence why it's a contraceptive. And for most women it's temporary, but for others it can last months or even years. So there's actually research that shows in the 3 years after you have your first period, your brain and your ovaries develop a connection. They learn to work together to increase your estrogen levels, release an egg, and then therefore ovulate once a month. But if you go on the pill before those 3 years of development have finished and that neurological path is properly formed, your brain doesn't have to do the work anymore because the pill is providing the estrogen for you. So I cancelled the gynecologist appointment because from a medical point of view, the way to treat PCOS, all types of PCOS, is to go on the pill. However, when it comes time to going off the pill, the treatment is so different for all 4 types. So my naturopath Hayley believes that I have post-pill PCOS. I went on the pill about a year after my first period. Then when it was time to come off the pill, my brain literally didn't know what to do. It can be compared to going through puberty again. So my ovaries released the egg, but my estrogen levels didn't increase because my brain didn't tell them to. So the eggs that were released are the follicles that are on my ovaries that they find with that internal ultrasound, and they're literally just follicles. They're not cysts, which is confusing because it's called Polycystic Ovarian syndrome. They're not going to explode, they're not going to do you any harm, which my doctor led me to believe. They're literally just hanging out on your ovaries. So when I was diagnosed, as I said, I was very naive. I just accepted the diagnosis. I did my own research thinking I had insulin-resistant PCOS, which I now know is not true. So my insulin levels are fine and my androgens, or my male hormones, are fine. The only reason I know this is because Hayley, my naturopath, explained that to me. My doctor didn't. And the reason that I wasn't ovulating was because my estrogen levels were way too low. Again, Hayley informed me, not my doctor. So now Hayley has me on a mixture of herbs to increase my estrogen levels, and I'm also on a herb called Tribulus for 14 days on, 14 days off, 14 on, 14 off, to try and bring about a cycle. So what I want you to take from this video is that every single person is different. There's no perfect case PCOS, and I encourage everyone to go and get a second opinion. See a naturopath, see a specialist, just don't accept the diagnosis straight away. Because post-pill PCOS, which is the second most common type, can be treated, unlike the insulin-resistant PCOS. I literally went through years of stressing about my specific diet, being so hard on myself, thinking that I'm not womanly enough because I have high testosterone levels, and then also the stress of maybe not being able to have kids, because that's the first thing that's associated with PCOS is infertility. And I went through all of that for almost nothing, and I don't want anyone else to have to go through that. So I'm going to keep you guys updated on how the natural approach with the herbs is going. Hopefully I'll be ovulating by myself soon, which will be the first time in about 8 years. So I'm going to keep you guys updated.